Let me ask you something. If you're a single woman over 60, have you ever caught yourself wondering, where would I feel safe? Where could I actually enjoy my retirement years on a reasonable budget without feeling isolated? If you have, you're not alone. A growing number of women, especially in the US, Canada, Australia, and the UK, are asking those exact questions. Now, let me break this down for you. Retirement today doesn't have to mean settling. It doesn't have to be a compromise between comfort and cost. In fact, more and more women are using this chapter of life to start fresh, in a place that truly fits their needs, their lifestyle, and their budget. In this video, I'm going to walk you through a list of some of the best places in the world to retire as a single woman over 60. These aren't just pretty places on a map. Each of them has something meaningful to offer, whether that's community, affordability, healthcare, or simply peace of mind. We'll talk about real people who've made the move, what made them stay, and what you should watch out for. By the end of this video, you'll have a better sense of what's possible, and maybe even a few places you'll want to explore for yourself. So, if you're in your 60s or even your late 50s, and you're starting to think seriously about retirement, this might just open some new doors. Let's dive in. Let's start with a gem in southern Europe, Abruzzo, Italy. Now, you've probably heard of Tuscany, maybe even Umbria. Beautiful places, no doubt, but they come with a price tag. Abruzzo, on the other hand, offers the same rolling hills, rustic stone houses, and rich Italian culture, but at a fraction of the cost. I'm talking homes that cost under $100,000. And I don't mean falling apart fixer-uppers. These are real homes in real villages. But more than the price, it's the lifestyle that stands out. Local food, a slower pace, a sense of community. Now the risk? Isolation. Many towns in Abruzzo are small. If you don't speak Italian, or if you're used to a more fast-paced, urban environment, it might feel too quiet. I've spoken to some retirees who loved it at first, but felt lonely over time, especially those who moved alone without a plan to integrate into local life. But here's how others made it work. One woman I met, Barbara, 67, originally from Toronto, spent 6 months in Abruzzo before making her move permanent. She joined a language group in the next town over and started volunteering at a local library. That changed everything for her. She said, "It didn't feel like I retired. It felt like I finally arrived." If you're thinking of Abruzzo, the solution is simple but crucial. Spend at least a few weeks there before committing. Try it in the winter and summer. Talk to expats. Test out the local grocery store, pharmacy, and hospital, not just the wine tasting tours. Next up, let's talk about something a bit more elegant, Aix-en-Provence in France. Aix has charm, cobblestone streets, music festivals, cafes under the shade of sycamore trees. But it's not just about the postcards. It's about lifestyle. In Aix, you'll find a mix of locals, artists, retirees, and yes, single women from English-speaking countries. Many of them are drawn by the walkability, the culture, and the sense of dignity the city seems to carry. But let me be upfront, it's not cheap. Rent and healthcare are more affordable than in cities like London or Sydney, but still higher than in places like Portugal or Thailand. What's the risk? Over-romanticizing it. A lot of retirees go to Aix expecting under the Tuscan sun and end up facing bureaucracy, paperwork in French, and longer than expected waiting lists for certain medical services. The dream can lose its shine if you don't go in prepared. But if you're someone who enjoys city living in a smaller, safer format, and if you can budget wisely, it's a place where many have found real happiness. Let's head over to Spain now, specifically Alicante. Alicante is a coastal city in the south of Spain. It's sunny, friendly, and surprisingly affordable. But here's what makes it stand out: community. There's a well-established expat population, especially from the UK and Canada, and many of them are women in their 60s and 70s. That means English is widely spoken, especially in day-to-day settings like markets, cafes, and hospitals. What's more, Spain has a solid public healthcare system, and if you become a legal resident, you may qualify for it at a low monthly cost. So what's the catch? Well, it's not for everyone. Some retirees say the nightlife can be too lively. Some feel the summer tourist season brings in a bit too much noise. And others miss greenery. Alicante's landscape is more arid than lush. But if you're someone who thrives on sunshine, likes the ocean breeze, and wants a built-in expat network, this city is worth a visit. Alright, Now I want to take you somewhere a little less known, Basilicata, also in Italy. This region is quiet, underrated, off the tourist trail, and that's exactly why some retirees love it. There's a low cost of living, deep-rooted community traditions, and a pace of life that encourages you to breathe, to slow down, to reconnect with yourself. But there's also a risk: infrastructure. Some towns have limited public transportation. You might need to drive or walk long distances for essentials. That's something to think about if mobility or transportation is a concern. One solution many women have used is choosing towns near regional centers. Places that are peaceful but still within 20 to 30 minutes of a hospital, a bank, and a grocery store. That way, you get the calm without sacrificing access. Let's shift gears now to Portugal, specifically Porto. Porto is Portugal's second largest city, and it's becoming a favorite among single retirees for good reason. It's scenic, but more down-to-earth than Lisbon. The cost of living is reasonable. Public transport is strong. Healthcare is high quality and affordable. But more than anything, it's livable. You can walk by the river in the morning, pick up fresh bread from a neighborhood bakery, take a yoga class with locals, or have dinner with friends from 3 different countries, all in the same day. Now the challenge? It's getting more popular. Prices have been rising, and there's talk of stricter visa policies in the future. That's why timing and research are everything. If you're thinking about Portugal, consider this: short-term rental first. Spend 1 to 3 months and really pay attention to your day-to-day life. Can you see yourself getting a haircut here? Going to the doctor? Doing your groceries? The more detailed your experiment, the better your long-term decision. Now, in the next part of this video, we're going to take a closer look at some truly fascinating options in Southeast Asia and Latin America. Places like Chiang Mai in Thailand, Bali in Indonesia, and Panama City in Panama. We'll talk about why some women absolutely thrive there, what cultural shifts they had to adjust to, and what kind of budget really works. But before we move on, I want to ask you something. What kind of retirement do you want to wake up to? And more importantly, what kind of place would support that version of you? Take a moment to think about that, and I'll meet you in part 2, where we continue exploring your options with fresh eyes and practical steps. Let's keep going. Let's pick up right where we left off. If you've been thinking, I like the sound of Europe, but maybe I want something warmer, simpler, maybe even more adventurous, then Southeast Asia or Latin America might be calling your name. Let's talk about Chiang Mai, Thailand. Now, you might be wondering, Thailand? Really? Yes, really. Chiang Mai is a city in northern Thailand. It's not the chaos of Bangkok, and it's not a beach resort either. It's something in between. It's a place where thousands of expats, including a surprising number of single women over 60, have chosen to retire. And here's why. First, the cost of living is extremely reasonable. You can rent a clean, furnished one-bedroom apartment in a modern building with air conditioning and a pool for under $500 a month. Add $300 to $600 more for food, transportation, and healthcare, and you've got a very comfortable life. But cost isn't everything. Chiang Mai has a soft energy. Temples, street food, cafes, gentle people. It feels welcoming. But of course, there are risks. Cultural differences, language barriers, heat, air quality during certain months. Some people also feel overwhelmed by being so far from home. That's why preparation is key. I know a woman named Kathy, 64, from Melbourne, who moved to Chiang Mai 2 years ago. At first, she was nervous. She said, "I didn't know if I was brave or crazy." But she joined a group called Women Living in Chiang Mai. She took Thai cooking classes. She learned how to order her favorite tea in Thai. She said, "I found parts of myself here I didn't know I'd lost." So here's the takeaway. If you're curious about Asia, go for a long visit. Stay in a short-term rental. Visit a local hospital. Talk to other expats. They're everywhere. Most of them are happy to share what they've learned. Now, let's head to Bali, Indonesia. Bali is lush, spiritual, artistic. It's also a place where more and more Western retirees are landing, not just for vacations, but for full-time living. And yes, it is possible to retire in Bali legally, even as a single woman over 60. Indonesia offers a retirement visa, known as the KIDAS, for those aged 55 and older who meet a few basic income and insurance requirements. Why Bali? Because it's beautiful, peaceful, affordable, but also because there's a strong community of foreigners, yoga teachers, artists, writers, entrepreneurs, And yes, retirees. But Bali's not perfect. Infrastructure can be inconsistent. Healthcare in certain areas is limited. Traffic can be unpredictable. And living in a popular tourist area comes with some compromises. Still, for many women, it offers something hard to define, a sense of renewal, of personal freedom. I remember speaking with Linda, a 69-year-old former school principal from Seattle. She moved to Ubud after retiring and said, "I never imagined my later years would look like this. I paint. I hike. I'm not invisible here. I feel seen." That kind of peace of mind, that's priceless. Now let's shift to a part of the world that's a little closer to North America, Latin America. Specifically, Panama City, Panama. Panama isn't talked about as much as Mexico, but it has a lot going for it. A stable economy, use of the US dollar, good infrastructure. English is spoken widely, especially in healthcare and legal services. And yes, it has a well-known pension-a-do program, which gives retirees discounts on a range of services, from restaurants to flights to medical care. Panama City is modern. You've got high-speed internet, international hospitals, shopping malls, yoga studios, cafes, all the comforts of home, but also the ability to slow down, take a walk along the waterfront, and feel the air shift in your lungs. Of course, it's not for everyone. Humidity is real. And while Panama is generally safe, like any major city, you need to know which neighborhoods to avoid. I had a conversation with Susan, a 72-year-old widow from Calgary, who's lived in Panama for 5 years now. She told me, what made the difference wasn't the city. It was the support group I found. Other women, like me. We look out for each other. And that right there, community, is what often makes or breaks a retirement abroad. Now, I can't talk about Latin America without mentioning Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. It's a favorite among single retirees, especially women from the US and Canada. Here's why. It's beautiful. The Pacific coastline, the sunsets, the art, the music, the food. But it's also functional. There are excellent private hospitals, great dental care, English-speaking doctors, and a large, active expat community. It feels familiar, but with more color, more warmth. And many women say they feel safe there. Still, you need to be realistic. Mexico has areas that are not safe. And while Puerto Vallarta is known as a safer region, crime does exist. You need to do your homework, visit different neighborhoods, talk to residents, not just agents. Here's something to consider. Many single retirees in Puerto Vallarta choose to rent, not buy. That gives them flexibility. If something doesn't feel right, they can move. Now, I want to bring this all together for you. You've heard about cities in Europe, Southeast Asia, and Latin America. Each has something unique to offer. But how do you choose? Start with your values. Ask yourself, what matters most to me? Is it safety, healthcare, language, climate, budget, community? Then, ask, what can I compromise on? And what can I? I've seen women try to live in their dream location, only to find out they can't sleep at night because it's too humid, or they feel isolated because they don't speak the language. That's why it's so important to test the waters. Here's a simple plan. Choose 2 places that caught your attention in this video. Spend at least 1 month in each. Treat it like a trial. Cook at home. Shop locally. Visit a clinic. Try taking public transport. Talk to locals. See how it feels, not just how it looks on Instagram. And one more thing, don't wait for perfection. There's no perfect place, but there is a place where you can thrive, where you can breathe deeper, where you can feel, not just alive, but seen, valued, and at peace. And maybe, just maybe, that place is out there waiting for you to show up. Now, before you go, I'd love to hear from you. What's the one place from this list that you'd actually consider visiting? Or maybe you've already retired abroad. What's your experience been like? Drop a comment below. You never know, your story might help someone else feel a little braver today. And if you found this video helpful, give it a like, share it with a friend, and don't forget to subscribe. We're building a space here for smart, thoughtful conversations about retirement, without the fluff, without the hype. Take care of yourself. And remember, retirement isn't the end of the road. It's just the start of a different kind of freedom. I'll see you in the next video.